We're going to have your code and your ticker on this network, and you can't stop it from being traded.
Right.
And so there's a derivative, and then if there's liquidity bonding the prices together, so if, let's say you have Chainlink on Ethereum, and then after launch, price bounces around a while, but I bet that over time that these prices will move similarly.
Right.
I think that the Link ticker on Pulsechain is likely to move similarly to the Link ticker on Ethereum.
Right. Just because of the bridge, right?
And because they're bonded by the liquidity.
Right.
And then it's the same code with the same ticker. Now, do you want to pay $100 or $300 to trade it on Ethereum, or do you want to pay a penny to trade it over here? And we already know this answer because they're doing it on other networks as well.
Yeah.
People do trading on alternate networks, and then we're the one that you don't like. Your coins are already here. You don't even have to bridge over. Right. You've already got your free coins here. You can already access them by changing one setting in your MetaMask. It's awesome.
Dude, it sounds
it
sounds pretty awesome.
Well, that's the trick. That's the magic. Is you launch this whole network with all these new coins. How do you get those new coins to be valuable?
Right.
But by not letting anyone ever stop the trading, by having the same tickers, and by giving people a reason to back the value of the things they got free.
Right.
By rewarding them with a yield farming token. It's like a giant vampire attack, basically. It's a giant vampire attack.
Hey everybody, and welcome back again. Missed yesterday, but we're getting there slowly and surely. So Pulsechain, we're going to talk about that today. Ethereum ETF, a Bitcoin conference. Of course, Trump's going to be speaking, and what will he say about crypto? It's going to be fun to see. And then, of course, we're going to cover Mafia as well. So going to get into all of that. I just realized I haven't even got the Mafia section up, so might pull it up now and talk about that a bit later when we get into the Pulsechain updates. So it should be fun. Let me see here. We're going there. Get into the chat there. Make it lively, folks. We've also got a poll up at the moment, so definitely fill out the poll. And we're going to get into all the details. You're going to have to put up my Raspberry voice just for a little bit longer, but it's slowly getting there, slowly getting better. So kind of cool to see. We got, hello, how are you today? Very, very good. It is recently sunny outside. We've had, obviously very wintry weather, but it is not too bad outside. Cool weather, I think, but still I see the sun out there. We got the Hex Pulse Hex Center for the win, 100%. That is the maxi strategy of the channel. Of course, the old Richard Hart tokens. We got Wookie in the house there. Yo, yeah, Mancho Wookie Savage. My voice is good for that. Mancho Wookie Savage. That fits in quite well. Big shout out to you. And get into in the chat there, folks. The other thing is we've got a poll up at the moment to see the sentiment, what people are doing on Pulsechain at the moment. Are you buying, hodling, selling, or might buy? Get in there and we'll check that out a bit later. Now, obviously, we've got a pretty huge week that's been in play. Lai says your voice is much better. Yeah, it's definitely a bit better. Let's see how we get through this live stream. That's going to be the real test as we move forward. It's one thing having sore throat, but when you're doing YouTube, it's obviously pretty bad because you got to talk all the time. But let's get into it and let's see what's happened with the stock market first of all, and then we'll move on into crypto. So stock market there, S&P 500 and biggest slump since 2022 is Alphabet, Tesla, and nosedive. Obviously, we've been breaking records on the stock market, but we have seen a recent pullback in the stock market there. We've got the Dow Jones down 1.25% there, so a pretty decent move, 504 points to 39,853, so below that 40,000 mark. We've got the S&P 500 down pretty decent too, 2.3%. These are pretty big moves these days in the stock market. And that's down 128 points to 5,427. And the NASDAQ there down a whopping 3.62%, 651 points to 17,345. Now, one thing you might want to see is a reasonable correction. Let's say 10 percentage points. I'm not sure if we've got there yet, but it's nice to probably have a bit of a pullback after these record-breaking days. Now, obviously, the dollar there is up slightly at 104.12. And that's what we're going to be watching, that theme of the dollar over the next year, expecting it to devalue. So that's what we're looking forward there with that. Commodities, we've got West Texas and Brent oil. They're pretty much pretty mixed, really. $77 for West Texas and $81.50 for Brent oil. per barrel. And then gold, of course, people getting bullish about gold, talking about $3,000 gold. And of course, that is down 0.75%, $18.40 today at 2,397. So definitely moved up there. And silver is down 1% at 31 cents at $29. Now, silver, obviously, we're expecting the narrative will be that when we get an interest rate pivot, potentially by September, we could get the US dollar pivoting and silver start rallying much higher, right, towards $75 or more is kind of the target there. So if you've got a lot of silver, that could be very, very good for you later in the year. Not only crypto, but having some silver would be very, very useful. Now, we obviously got some news here. The Federal Reserve's Dudley switches its view, calls for rate cuts next week. So the July cut, not waiting for September. Former new Federal Reserve President Bill Dudley on Wednesday called for the Fed to cut rates as soon as next week amid recession concerns. So not the soft landing that Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, was talking about, reversing his long-held view for the U.S. central bank to persist with the higher for longer rates regime, which is normally what they do. And they normally overshoot, right? They hold rates up too long. The fact that facts have changed, he says, so I've changed my mind. The Fed should cut preferably at next week's policy meeting. Dudley said ahead of the Fed's July 31st policy meeting there. So that is his view. Let's quickly look at what that current monitor, or what the market expects around interest rates for July, September. So we've got just under a week away until the July meeting. We're expecting a no change. However, 95% of the market is expecting no change to the interest rates, leaving them at 5.25 to 5%, 5.5%. And September is the first time we're getting a pivot, and we've got the 100% of the market expecting a pivot by September. So he may not get his dreams come true for July, but September looking good for September the 18th. And that's potentially a good rally for the stock market, crypto market. Obviously, the economy generally having cheaper cost of credit, flow through, and of course the US dollar pivot, the value potentially, and of course silver and other commodities rally. So that's kind of what we see there. Feeds very well in September into our October month, which has been we're really expecting some pretty exciting things from crypto. That is kind of where we are at that moment. That leads us into crypto itself. Before we get into that, though, we've got Crypto Fury in the house there. Hello. Good to see you, Crypto Fury. And we got Wookie says, yes, sir, super is back, says Wookie. Yeah, back. We're doing our best to be back. So we've got Bitcoin here at the moment, 65,496, down 0.75%. We've got Ethereum there at 3,342, down 4% overnight, following the launch of the Ethereum ETF, which we're going to talk about coming up, the results for that. We got pretty much mixed results across the board. BNB down 1.3%, but we have Solana, XRP, and TRX all up at the moment, so not too bad. ADA, of course, with the Chain fork, which I still don't believe has happened yet. That is down a little bit there at 40 cents, just under 1% down. Litecoin and Matic there down 2-3% respectively. So that is it. Bit of mixed pullback at the moment. Closer zoom in on Bitcoin. We've got the next big news for Bitcoin, obviously besides the Ethereum ETF, is interest rate pivots for 18th September. So that is ticking away there. We can see we are only 55 days away from that. And in the US election, of course, could be a bullish event, 5th of November. That is 103 days away to the US election. And of course, things are starting to ramp up a little bit this week. I know that I think Trump had a conference on today. Was it open air conference? So yeah, that is pretty much that on a Bitcoin. And at the moment, we've got the yellow line, which is the 50-day moving average at 63,575. We're above that at the moment, 65,411. So we're actually looking, if you zoom out a little bit there, still looking pretty good. Above these moving averages, very, very crucial there. So things still looking pretty good. Now moving into meme coins with Bitcoin down a little bit. We've got a lot of opportunity in the meme coins on Bitcoin on the Runes protocol. You can see that Dog Go to the Moon is very good entry right now at 5.84 sats. So very nice pickup for Dog at the moment if you're looking to pick that up. 381 million market cap. Everything else is pretty much a bit of mixed results as well. Ryzik is up 10%, $1 billion cat up 10%. Rooney is up 7.5%. So there's a little bit of a mixed bag around there. Liquidium, a token that's moved up in the top 10. It's a bit of a new one there. Not sure when that actually came in, but that's a new one. So that might be something worth looking at. It is down 11%. And then we got Lobo at number 9, Satoshi Nakamoto at number 10 there, wrapping up the meme coins for Bitcoin. So when we get that move on again for Bitcoin, you're probably going to see some pretty serious re-rating for these runes, particularly DOG, and waiting for some of those tier 1 exchanges. We know there is, I think, Bidget exchange seems to be accumulating a lot of DOG at the moment down these low levels, and we know that there's been obviously short selling and stuff like that on some of the exchanges there at the moment. All right, so that is kind of where the opportunities lie. Now, obviously, huge for crypto is going to be the 45th President of the United States, President Donald Trump, there speaking at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville, and that is about 2 days away. So that is the next one coming up. That is potentially huge. Obviously, if he's talking about the Treasury accumulating Bitcoin for that as well, that's mega. And of course, the other side of things is not just buying Bitcoin themselves for the US government, but also the regulation of crypto, and we want clarity around that. And that could also flow in through to the SEC, change of leadership, change of approach. Instead of being combative, it will then be, move to a normal regulatory position and give clarity. And we may even see potentially they, depending what happens to the dismissal case in October for Richard Hart versus the SEC, then we may see that potentially even get dropped into the new year should a new regime take place, should the President Donald Trump win the US election, which he is on track for based on all the pollings and electoral college and things like that. So yeah, that is kind of where we're at the moment. So pretty bullish, can't get much more bullish than that. Looking forward to that speech to see where, to what extent the government would back the crypto market, but bullish generally. Just having a president at the Bitcoin conference, that's just by itself is incredible. So pretty amazing there. All right, Ethereum at the moment coming up there. So you can see the rest of the year is looking absolutely gorgeous, despite the little malaise at the moment. And we've got Ethereum at the moment with the 200-day moving average in yellow. That is sitting at 3,370. We're currently below that, unlike Bitcoin, where it's above the 50-day. We're below that at the moment at 3,332. Obviously, this is following the launch of the Ethereum ETF. I got expected there, but of course, it has launched. And so we'll move that away. And so, yeah, that launched on that time. It does. So, yeah, that's kind of where we are at the moment. So that's kind of pretty bullish. We're going to look at some of the results here. So we got Bitcoin versus Ethereum ETF, day one comparison. Total ETH flows, 108 million net, where 16% of the Bitcoin flows. So the first day of Bitcoin ETFs, remember back in January the 10th or 11th of this year, we had Bitcoin flows. So the first day, $655 million there. So 16%, pretty good. But of course, 79% if you exclude the outflows from the ETH, and that was 484 million versus GBTC, which was 95 million conversions. So this conversion process has to play out first. Basically, what we're seeing, the Ether, I'll just call it that, outflows are likely larger because it was already trading at NAV on conversion, while GBTC was at a big discount, as you guys will recall. Bottom line, while this is a marathon, not a sprint, demand for the Ethereum ETH ETF surpassed expectations on day one. A great setup for the road ahead, looking bullish for the predictions. So that's looking really cool. So here we can see on the left-hand side, we can see the Ethereum ETF, and on the right-hand side, we can see day one of the Bitcoin ETF. And you can see that we had this conversion here happening, so down 484 million, and so the net result for the day was 107 million for the first day of the Ethereum ETF. That said, of course, if we exclude that conversion adjustment, then we actually had 591 million for the first day, which is pretty damn good, right? So really positive there. This compares to obviously Bitcoin on the right hand side. So pretty good results there. And of course, we've day two results have been going pretty well from what I can see. So that's pretty much it around that. So fairly good news, but of course the market sold that down a little bit, but that's a little bit, I think, looking pretty positive for the road ahead. As the lady said, it's a marathon, not a sprint there. And of course, that will lead us into the interest rate pivots in 18th September, 55 days away, and then the US election as well. So everything boding pretty well. And of course, this conference this week is going to be mega for if we get some real bullish stuff out of Trump on supporting crypto. Then it's up and away, isn't it? Up and away. That's going to lead us into Pulsechain for day 439, and we've got some green charts, so it's always good to talk about that. Let's see where else we got. Archie in house there. Hi all. Good to see Archie, the Don of the Syndicate. Big shout out. Big shout out from the Wookiee there as well. Is that some goats, some golden goats there. Golden horn goats, we say. And a big hello from Crypto Fury there. All right, so leading us into a Pulsechain, we got at the moment quadruple 0497 is the price, up 1.27%. 50% of the main sacrifice price, so that's a real nice general lift to the upside. We've got Pulsex at quadruple 0276, up 2.13%. That's sitting at 27% of the main sacrifice price there, so still a long way to go for that. The buy and burn is 928.2, almost 928.3 billion. Pulsex has been bought up and burned, 4.59%. Now I'll say that again, 4.59% of the public supply has gone forever. And we're heading towards that, I guess, that 5% mark, or a billion Pulsex, billion Pulsex there, which will be first. Incentive token has been performing like a boss. $2.95, up 4%. Of course, 1.27% of that is the Pulse price, but the volume and the ratio to Pulse is really, really good. 59,516, not far away from a breakout level of 61,000. And the total supply, which I'm not sure if that's been updated yet, but 37.2 million, and that's from the V1 Pulsex farms, right? Hex at the moment is at 60, just below 6400th of a penny, up 1%, and EHEX there back down at 1300th of a penny. So really had a pump and then sold off, and it's been stuck down at 1300th of a penny again. But the combined price there at 70, just below 7700th of a penny. Hex is looking better. Hex is looking better, but still super cheap. But still looking a lot better than it was. And so congratulations if you managed to pick that up. You would have made a pretty good return out of that. All right, that is day 439. Let's go to the Pulse alerts and have a look at what's been coming over the bridge over the last 24 hours. We can see we had a few swaps. We had some Pulsex swap to Pulse, then Pulse to the Pulsex there in the last 14 hours. 13 hours ago, we had 365,000 DAI bridge to Pulsechain. That was pretty cool. Oh yeah, I forgot that I'm suspended on this account. So that's pretty cool. We had incentive token move up 9%, so that's been the big move. 53,000 incentive tokens sold for US dollars, so we had a bit of selling there. 120,000 USDC bridge to Ethereum, so we had some exit. So after this nice little 365 coming into Pulsechain, we have had some exiting there. But then 3 hours ago, we had 52,000 Inc. bought for $153,000. And of course, we saw that in the chart, right? The incentive chart there looking really, really nice. So some nice price support there for INC over on the boat there. Bought back less INC for the same price. Excellent trade. Yeah, not a good trade, right? Not a good trade. But that is it. This dude is a huge swing trader. Don't for it. He's going to dump on you. There we are. There's some comments about that. All right. So that is that's where we are. Let's go to the charts. Obviously, Pulsechain here. RSI on the daily is at 62. So we had a nice little breather. We got, after our big rally that we had, which is almost 6 days ago now. We had that nice rally. We had the RSI got rallied, pushed up all the way to just before 70. Come back, cool down a bit. And that's what we want to see. This chart's looking fantastic. I mean, what else can you say? Anyone else got any comments about this chart? We have that exactly cooling off. We didn't come back too far. That was the what we'd always had before, right? Had a little rally, kept coming back down the whole time. But this time we rallied up and we have stayed up. The market doesn't want to go down. So that's cool. Good news. All right, so that comes into our poll, of course. If you want to get into that poll, how many votes? We've got 12 votes. Get into that poll. We'll probably end that in a minute. So if you haven't voted, vote for that. So yeah, we've got the Bitcoin conference coming up. That could be potentially mega bullish. I mean, it really could shock the market, superstar like. And then of course we've got the Ethereum ETF, which is still early days, but performing well straight out of the gate. So good news there. We've also got the rally into Richard Hart versus the SEC. So let's go full screen on this. You can see that's our next key thing regarding the SEC. And that is ticking away closer all the time. Richard Hart's dream team lawyers need to respond. I could see it as a bullish event because it's kind of like a punch back in a boxing match. So that's 28 days away until that's required. And so that's kind of cool. So yeah, bullish event, bullish event, bullish event. So 3 of them in a row. Looks pretty good to me. And then in September, we got the interest rate pivots in September. And then, of course, up to October, right up October. And then, into the US RH versus the SEC arguments are in October. And the US election on the 5th of November. So pretty tightly packed pieces of news flow there. But generally, I would see that as a good news. So, yeah, be a bit uncertainty around the oral arguments, but I definitely see the 22nd of August as a bullish thing. So that is it on that. Let's go to the weekly. We've got lots of room on the weekly for Pulsechain because with RSI is all the way down at 38. So we've seen that finally come off the bottom. Look at that. Finally come off the bottom. And yeah, plenty of room to move just on this chart here. Pulsex at the moment, obviously even better looking than on the old Pulsechain to some degree. The RSI is more overheated though. Pulse is down at 60. This is up at 70 near the oversold period on the daily. So it definitely needs a bit more of a breather, but we're getting there, right? Look at this, beautiful. So we had a nice rally. It hardly came back very much and consolidating nicely in here for the next move. So what else can you say? Looking pretty good. 4 hourly, we've definitely got room to move it in the RSI on the 4 hourly. And then on the weekly there, we've got this long-term view. We've held up the support level. We've got higher lows, and we're about to, oh man, this is mega. We could get a bullish cross here on the 13 to 34 with this pink line crossing the purple line that's getting closer all the time. So that's really, really exciting. And the RSI very, very chilled down at 46. So we're looking really good for the old Pulsex there. Not much else to say about that. We've got a bullish cross on the daily, of course, coming back to daily there, and nice consolidation here. So everything looking pretty good. Just to be nice to see the RSI just cool off a bit more before we make another move. That's kind of the play there. INC, $2.95. This has looked amazing, isn't it? The INC token. And that ratio, look at that. Whew, that's so good. So perform like a boss in here. If you've been yield farming for the most part, you'd be absolutely loving in here. Obviously, with that rally last week or so, a week ago, then you would have had a permanent loss if you'd been stuck in the stablecoin one. So that might have been a bit of shock to some of you. If you didn't understand a permanent loss, you'd end up with a lot less of the Richard Hart tokens and more of the stablecoin. So you're earning nice income yield, but capital upside, you wouldn't have captured that, right? So there we are. That is it. And look, we're getting pretty close to 61. This yellow line here, we're 59,500, and that could be a little bit of a breakout there to 71. That's got 71. And if we break 71, man, it's off to the races. Who knows where the NCM token could go after that. Hex, of course, has been the cheap one to get, and definitely got oversold the most, all the way down here to 4200th of a penny, back here on the 10th of July. I had a beautiful rally, and like I say, all these charts are doing exactly what we wanted. For those complaining about, a little pump and then we get dumped down, well, finally we've had the pump without the dump down. So there we go. That's the good news, and we've only got good news in front of us, generally speaking, right through the end of the year. So apart from the October oral stuff for the court. So that's kind of where we are at the moment on the old Hex. So still great pickup. And we've got a bullish cross here as well with the pink line over the purple line. So it's bullish cross, and we're also above the 50 moving average as well, that yellow line. So very, very strong looking chart in terms of chance in the local price to move up higher. And the RSI's come way back down to 60. So looking good like Pulse. Got lots of room to move there. EHEX has been the poor cousin there now, and down at 1300th of a penny. So lots of potential upside for that. Get dragged up with Pulse, X1 Pulse. That's pretty much it. Let's go back to the rest of the markets. We've got gas prices at the moment, 177,000 beats. Only 0.3 of a penny for Pulsex swap, 200th of a penny for Pulsecoin transfer, 600th of a penny for a PRC trend transfer. So pretty good there. Validators, we've got 1.55 trillion, so it's been like that for like 2 months. Not much change there. And the bridge at the moment, 101.9 million. So it's slightly higher than when I covered it 2 days ago. And what do we got there? Yeah, even with ETH down a little bit, Bitcoin down a bit. That's still not too bad. Yeah, a DAI is up. So 29.4 million DAI. That's higher than what it was 2 days ago. And maybe some of the other stable coins are up slightly as well. EHEX is also dragged down. So even with ETH, Bitcoin, and EHEX dragging it down, we've obviously had more stable coin come over. So we're sitting much better there at just below 102 million. So that's kind of a good sign as well. So that is a day at 4:39. Obviously, going to be starting day 4:40. So it's going to start soon. That leads us into the rest of the markets and the Hex derivatives. We've got COSA up 3.7%, Decky, the 10-year mining pool, up at 1.9%, Hedron at 1.1%, so a little bit of movement there. Moving to the stable coins, we've got PDAI is actually up 6.5% at 2,400th of a penny. USDC and USD Tether following it up a bit as well. Just behind, we've got LUSD, it's up 1%, pretty chill. And then the rest of the stable coins that are actually stable coins, doing okay. Coast just below 98, just below peg there, just below 98 cents. Jumping to the influencer coins, excuse me, we got Maddie Allen making a nice move there, up 21%. So that's kind of cool. There we go. Good on you, Maddie Allen. Got a lot of grief when the market was down here, but has had a nice recovery. $3.91 here at the moment on the old Maddie token. That leads us to Pulsechain overall. We're going to check that out. Overall results, 111.6 million in weekly volume, so better than what I saw 2 days ago, but still a lot of work to do, obviously, with Pulsechain. 165,000 transactions at the moment. This is on trending 6 hours. Let's see if any other standouts there. Teddy Bear up 11%. Pika up 9% there. Die Hard managed to be up 8.8%. Giftware and PGIF up 8% there. Orange being good, up 8%. A few moves there. And Mafia, of course, we're going to talk about that. That is also up 6.5%, so doing pretty well. The whole Mafia, and I think that's some of the highlights. PDRIP managing to pull out 4% on the RRI protocol there. H2O Pulse Drip up 4%. So there are a few little movers across the board there as well. Looks like some of the influencer coins like Axis are making a bit of a move as well. Very, very baby move, but still looks like they're going to be trying to move out today. So might be some pickup opportunities possibly. And some of these other ones like Axis Alive, Solid X, they might start to move. They're little green shoots at the moment. Food for thought there. All right, now let's go to the Mafia. Before we do that, though, let's end this poll that we've got on and see how many votes we got. We had 12. We got another 4 votes, so let's end the poll on that. And let's take a quick drink break from our sponsor. For you, those of you that know soft drinks in New Zealand, L&P is what I'm drinking there. L&P. It's a very Kiwi drink. Let's see there. We've got the polling. Yeah. So what are you doing at the moment on Pulsechain? We've got 68% said just hodling, so no one's doing much there at the moment. It kind of feels like the market. We've got 25% of buying, and we've got 6% selling at the moment. Might buy 0% there at the moment. So very, very clear differentiation there. So that's a lot more demure than normal polls, but still 25% buying. It's 6% selling. So the 19% net. All right, let's see. We've got Bob Wells in the house, have we? Yeah, we have. Hello. I hope everything is doing well. Everyone is doing well. Hey, Bob, good to see you. And just popping in for a quick hello before work. Got to make that DCA cash. That's right. That's how you rock and roll. That's how you do it. And a good time to do it now, isn't it? Wookie says good times. Yeah, absolutely. We are on the precipice of greatness for the rest of the rally this year. It's looking pretty good, and maybe Trump speech might insulate the crypto a bit from the stock market pullbacks as well. The old wealth effect, as we call it, sentiment and wealth effect. We got Max Payne in the house there. Hey friends, hey, good to see that. Hey, it looks like we got the whole of the syndicate hierarchy in the house. So we got the Don with Archie. We got the Cappuccina there with Max Payne, and of course myself, yours truly, Superman, as the consigliere, as they say, the consigliere. But we're about to get into that. All right, so let's get ready to rumble. Let's get into it. All right. I love that, those bullets. I love those bullets. All right, so we've got the Mafia. The Mafia, let's see how we're going. The number one, and it's easily said, the number one GameFi on Pulsechain now. And of course also playing on BNB. So Mafia here doing very well indeed, and breaking some records. So we've got 874 players at the moment on the old Pulsechain side, or Pulse Mafia. We've got 17 crime families, and we've got 4.5 billion Pulse in the vault. So let's talk about the money first, because that's what we like to talk about. 4.5 billion Pulse is now in this protocol. And if I remember rightly, I think 5 or 6 billion is kind of the biggest that a reflection token ecosystem has achieved. So, excuse me, we're heading in the right direction, about to break some more records in that front as well on Pulsechain. So 4.5 billion Pulse, $221,000 at the current price of Pulse. So, you know, just a doubling of that's going to move us to 440. So you can see how quickly it all goes up. Now, the main contributors are the taxman. That means people buying and selling the token on the Pulse chain. We got Keys as that's number 2. Sorry, taxman. Keys is number 1. So people buying keys to open up in-game assets and some of the particularly large prizes that are in there in terms of Mafia and Keys and OG NFTs. And then, of course, number 3, they're coming in the secondary market at 2.7%, which is the marketplace also contributing there as well. So that is where all the money is. And of course, we've got the families at the moment. Top families there, the syndicate at 422,000, led by our very own Don Capone Archie. And of course, we've got, he leads not only the syndicate, but also the first allegiance on Pulsechain called the Directorate. And that includes other families, including the Yakuza at number 3 and the Hustlers at number 5 there. And of course, that is an allegiance, those families in Chicago, New York, and Napoli are there. Now, number 2 is the Gearheads, led by Giftedware and Crypto Kool-Aid. That's sitting at number 2 at 411,000. So they've actually moved up quite a bit and closed the gap. That gap used to be about 100,000, and now is sitting at 90,000, just under 90. Sorry, just under 10,000. So it used to be 100. Now it's sitting at about 10. So they've closed it a lot, 90% of the way or more on that. Right, Yakuza at number 174. That's taken back spot number 3. That was at spot number 4. So that has taken back the spot number 3 there, ahead of the Salamancas, who had briefly held that for a couple of days. They're now at number 4 at 171,000. And then number 5 is the Hustlers. And of course, that led by My Life is Awesome, or Lick Gaines, YouTuber. He's in the family there. We've got 120,000 in wealth there. So they're top 5. Now they get 10% of the vault every week. So if the vault now is at 220,000, that is $22,000 a week in US dollars paid out to the families there. Now that is pretty awesome, and 30% goes to the syndicate. You can see in the badges over here, 30%, all the way down to 10% to the Hustlers at the bottom there. So that is how that is playing out. Then we have 3 special spots. They get 5% conditional payouts. And we got the Mugnows, the Mumbo Italianos, and the Grand Clan at number 8. They've moved to position again as well, because Mumbo was actually number 6, so they've dropped down to number 7. So there has been a few repositionings in the family. So yeah, this game is quite dynamic, as we can see, and we're only in level phase 5 plus out of 12 phases before the game starts. So that is it. Now the next big thing we're expecting, of course, is the map. That is a major upgrade. That is phase number 6. We're expecting that to come up. So let's go quickly look at the Wikipedia and have a look at that, because that's the next big thing coming up. And we can see on the launch phases here, we've had the marketplace plus other updates. If we go into the actual chart at the moment on Mafia, we can see the chart is performing very well, as you would expect, with the #1 GameFi project with over $220,000 in it at the moment. And look at that chart, looking very, very good indeed. So, the NFT marketplace came in on the 26th of June. So we've been here for a while on phase 5. That's why I call it phase 5 plus, because we've had the keys since then. We've had player and family plus since then. We've had the hidden inventory since then, and allegiances back here on the 18th of July. So we've had lots of little sub phases, as it were, or features launched, and this chart's looking very good at the moment. So still pretty early, 2.2 million market cap, and nice little rally in here. So everything is looking super healthy. This is kind of a dream come true for GameFi protocols, to have a healthy chart and to have a healthy vault, and of course to have healthy families. Well, for as long as they live anyway. That's the way it goes. Am I allowed to say that? I'm not sure. Anyway, it is a Mafia game after all. Let's be friends. Let's be friends, as we say. All right, so we've got the families in there, and they're going well. Now, the crates at the moment, obviously people can buy keys for $20, and that's very popular, as we've seen in the vault. People will continue to buy keys, and of course you can win in-game assets. Some of the big highlighters, the big prizes that people after are the Mafia. There's still 38.2 million Mafia remaining, so out of 50 million, so still most of it's still there, just under 80%. And OG NFTs are popular, and of course winning keys are very popular. So just landing on those is the trick, right? Landing on those is the trick. But anyway, those are what people are buying and selling. That is the primary market. We also have the secondary market, or the marketplace, and this has been doing very well, honestly. $166,000 in volume, 3,857 items sold. We've seen the Giftedware have pulled up their position number 2 quite strongly. They've been doing a lot of market buying on the market, in the secondary market, and pushing up the market price of virtually everything, from guns to shotguns to machine guns to bulletproof vests. They've been buying lots of different things, so lifting up the market value, which is good for the game, right? Good for the markets there. So there was a period of time where you could get something quite cheap. In fact, let's have, I don't know if we can see it here. This thing would be flooded with guns, and it is not flooded with guns anymore. Let's go to the handgun control and see what this has happened to this chart. So there was a period where you could pick up a handgun for like $1.20, $2. That price has rallied. Look at this rally, and this has gone all the way up to $8, $7, $8, $9 for a handgun. Now I say just, but remember it's $20 for a key. So you're getting up to that equilibrium level, aren't you? So still well discounted from the $20 purchase price of a key. But $5 at the moment for a handgun. And you can see some of the prices that are listed at the moment, just for one of the cheapest items in the game. But very important item, right, to have a gun in the game. So that's kind of where we are there. So that's kind of the play there. Now level 10 Sam. These are highly sought after, of course, top bodyguards. We have still yet to see big moves in that, but I think when the game starts, these will have probably a much higher price attached to them, when people realize the significance of having these sort of top bodyguards. There's only 97 of them in the market, and we can see they've been going for about 150 for an item like this. And we did have a dip there, down $70, has recovered quite nicely as people have been buying those, and you can see the cheapest one at the moment seems to be about $150. So people are repricing some of the things in the market there. So it's just a couple of items that you can see that people are looking at. Just looking through some of these others, just out of interest here. Bulletproof suit. Let's have a look at some of these. They're pretty interesting. See how the price curve on this. So you could get a bulletproof suit as cheap as $23. So we've almost doubled the price now, $38. And there's 245 of these. Last sale was $38. So and they're not going cheap. You know, there's they're all got $100 fixed prices and one auction at 35. So you know, I mean, you've got to hunt around there. So the market's doing pretty well. It's going pretty well indeed. So that's some of the cool stuff there. Just looking at the wiki, just having a look down here for anything new that's new. Doubled up there. Yeah, we've had the family pluses, the allegiances. Like I say, at the moment, only the syndicate has got an allegiance at the moment. And if you jump into the syndicate, you can see some of the additional details there. You got this area here called the allegiance, so that is done. And what else? You've got promotion money. You got the allegiance down here, the directorate. It's got the syndicate and the hustlers and the Yakuza. It also has some new details here: vault share and members. So there's the number of members in the family. Has the vault share 10%, 0%, 0%, and has the payouts responding there. And all the members of the family, 224 members. So it is a juggernaut, isn't it? 224 members. Remember, there are 874 members in playing the game. So it is a serious family there. So some cool stuff going on there. Now, there has been more guns and things like that show up. So if you got to keep looking at the Wikipedia, because weapons, for example, in the shop, you can see you can actually win a handgun Colt. We just went through that. You can also you can get a Remingtons, but there's a gun here that you can't win in the crates, and that's a Smith & Wesson. So that's in here as well. Now we know that you can get Thompsons, you can get Molotovs and frag grenades, but you know there are certain items showing up in the armory that are not not related. So here you can get leather gloves. There's something that's not showing up there, but you can get bulletproof vests and bulletproof suits. But here is a bomb suit, so that's not, you can't win that at the moment and with keys, but there's a bomb suit there. So you can sort of see there's new additions into the wiki all the time. Another one of these examples is this Humvee transport. You can win motorcycles and armored cars, but you don't see Humvees, so it's a top end item coming up as well. The other thing, of course, you can win planes, which are very, very vital in the game with different continents. But you can see there's other apparently it looks like planes here, the Sikorsky and the Gyro Crusader, so they're in there as well. So there's different things that are popping up in the wiki there. Got to keep tags on. So that's kind of cool. Let's jump over to the BNB quickly. Have a look at that. So I've got $221,000 in the Pulse Mafia. Let's have a look at how much is in the BNB. We've got 122 BNB, so that's $70,000. So we had that 70, and that means we've got a combined of $291,000 in the vaults to be won by the families on both Pulsechain and BNB. Pretty cool. So not far away from $300,000. Total players over on BNB, we've got 871 players, 70 crime families, and 122 BNB. Looking at the top 5 families at the moment, number 1 is the OG Gangsters, still holding that number 1 spot over there. We've got the Syndicate at number 2, holding number 2 still. We've got the Mugnows. As you remember, the Mugnows have moved up on Pulsechain up to number 6. They are now at number 3 on the BNB side. And we've got number 4 there, the Yakuza, which is holding number 3 over on Pulsechain. It's number 4 here on BNB. And the Illuminati, which has no position on Pulsechain, but holding number 5 over here on BNB. Now, with the first allegiance set up was by the Syndicate and Archie the Don. A big shout out to the Don there. And of course, the directorate there has those 3 families of the Syndicate, the Yakuza, and the Illuminati. So certainly huge. The second alliance that we've seen outside of the Syndicate is the OG Gangsters. They have set up their own alliance, the OG Alliance there, between their 2 sister families there in New Jersey and Medellin. So we do have 2 allegiances over there now at the moment. So that's kind of good news there. So kind of cool to see that. Those are some of the big moves. Obviously the crates over there. We've got, obviously you can buy $20 keys over here as well. Over on BNB side. You can use those keys to open up crates. Now the cool thing over on BNB is that they still have a lot of the businesses. 43 of the businesses still remaining. They have all of the Mafia is still there, 50 million. None of that's been won yet. They obviously have the OG NFTs and the keys that you can win as well. So there's lots to win over there on the BNB chain. The market's still ticking over, $6,000 in volume, 93 assets sold, 5.4 BNB in fees. So there's still market ticking over there. So yeah, I haven't looked at momentum, but obviously Pulsechain's got more momentum at the moment. But we'll see what happens on the space here. I think there was a Twitter space on BSC where they were having a meeting about or talking about Mafia to some degree on there on BNB. So that's kind of the play. All right. So let's have a look at the prices. Obviously, Mafia on Pulsechain doing very, very well. 2200th of a penny, looking good. Up near all-time high price, not too far away. So keep a look at that. This chart, you can only see this chart going up and to the right. Once again, do your own due diligence. So that is that. Let me just jump over to the Pulsechain side. Now, if you want to get a play, you only 2,000 Mafia to play. So it's pretty cheap to play. And obviously, you guys know, been covering this. Oh, I just realized I got no screen on. That's typical. I was looking at the screen too. All right, we got the Crypto Fear says the Syndicate fire line. Yeah, definitely. Put me on the fire line today for missing the screen on there. Good evening, Hexkins. Check my pulses here. The Syndicate says Wookie will always cover the high ground. No screen. Yeah, apologize for that. That was pretty bad. It's probably talking for quite a long time too, as well. What's crack-a-lacking, fellow folks? A win screen, indeed. Even Wookie's charts look better than that, says Wookie. Yeah, absolutely. All right, I apologize for that. Anyway, so yeah, probably missed out the screen the whole time, unfortunately. So just a quick summary of the Pulsechain. We've got 874 live players, 17 crime families, 4.5 billion pulse, and that pulse is looking pretty good. $221,000 worth of pulse in the vault, pretty awesome. And the families at the moment, like I say, the Syndicate #1 with the directorate there, with the Accuser and Hustlers in the directorate. And of course, we've got Gearheads and the Salamancas there sitting at number 2 and 4 respectively. And of course, the Salamancas have got Family Plus in the gold as well. So those are the top 5 at the moment. Mug now sitting at number 6 have taken over from Mumbo. So we've had a few moves in position there. With the Yakuza taking back number 3 spot from number 4, and Mugnow's taking back number 6 from the Mumbos at number 7, and the Gearheads, of course, closed that gap up quite significantly. On the BNB side, which I did have on, let's quickly summarize that. We have 871 players, 17 crime families, 122 BNB. The families, of course, the OG gangsters there with their alliance, with their other families in New Jersey, Medellin. Got the alliance there, and the Syndicate, of course, aligned with the Yakuza and the Illuminati here at number 4 and 5. The Mugnows, which are at number 6 on Pulsechain, and number 3 here, getting paid on the old BNB side there. So that is a bit of a summary of that. The other thing, of course, as I said earlier, with the crates, you can still win businesses over on the BNB side, as well as Mafia and Keys. And no Mafia has been won yet, so lots of upside there for those willing to take the risk over there. Pulsechain is ticking away as well. The market results have been phenomenal. $166,000 in volume, 3,857 trades. It's doing pretty well indeed. And you would have missed my analysis of those things, but the prices have been, the price for has lifted from where it was a couple of weeks ago. So lots of opportunities. Less chances to pick up super cheap stuff, but certainly opportunities nevertheless on that marketplace. And that is pretty much that for Mafia. I just have to remember to have my screen up next time. We got Cult Defi says, hey, Superman. Hey, Cult Defi, good to see you. Keep up the great work. Cult Defi, they're the front man for Jacob with Mafia and many of the other protocols. I was hoping to see Jacob on the show the other day that you had, talking about all the projects, including PUSD ALGO, Pulse Predict, BNB, Pulsepot would be cool. Nice to get a general update from him around that at some stage. It's always welcome on this channel, of course, to talk about that. Wiki says, one step at a time. First, we have super next to the screen and charts and green candles. Nice one, Wiki. Even get trolled by our own capos. All right, so that's kind of where we are at the moment on Mafia. Let's go have a look at BNB Mafia and have a quick look at the price over there. Now that I've got the chart back up. So, yeah, we did get sold off by a couple of large holders, remember? got pushed all the way down to 1866, back up the last 2 days on BNB at the 22,000th of a penny at the moment. So that's kind of where we're back there at the moment. So lots of upside potential for Mafia there. Remember, this yellow line here is what I have as the mean sacrifice price. So for the sacrifice, so lots of upside. Just get back to there for 616%. Just get back to the sacrifice price there. So a lot of potential upside there. And there's what, $70,000 in the vault at the moment on BNB Mafia. All right, that is it for that. Let's get into Hex. We don't have Ethereum results for Hex, but we do have day 439 here for the Pulsechain, and we have the 24th of July, price up 1% there. The payout 6.134, they're pretty good, and yesterday we had 7.131 there, so nice good results there for the payouts for Hexkins. The T-shares up down 2,800. We've got 9.2 million T-shares at the moment on the old Pulsechain as reference. You know, when on Ethereum back at the day, the top was 11.2 million. So we're now at 9.2 on Pulsechain. The rewards at the moment pretty modest. Not a lot of penalties lately. 65.6 million in the rewards. They're going to those miners holding those T-shares. Bit of a decrease in liquid holders, down 3. Looks like no change in miners, 123,333 miners on Pulsechain at the moment, the Magic Carpet Ride chain. That is it for Hex. And of course, Hex.com, links in the video description. You can mine Hex on Pulsechain or Ethereum today. That's pretty much it. Hey, we finally caught up there. So even if I do miss something. Now, Richard Hart has been making lots of comments on his X profile. So if you haven't caught up with that, he's been doing a great job getting out, talking about lots of different things. So if you haven't checked out Richard Hart there, that has been pretty good from that point of view. I don't know if we've got any of those up at the moment. See if we can pull up a little bit of Richard Hart, as we say. Let's see here. Going to scroll down here a little bit here. Yeah, he's been talking about lots of things, lots of different topics. I won't go into them now, but lots of different topics here on Richard Hart. So it's really been nice to see him talk about just about a little bit about everything. Let's see here. We got Dalton announced there. Going to be fun, says Dalton. Absolutely. And we got Crypto Class announced there. Another influencer out there doing a great job. Crypto Class, morning to you. Hope you're doing well. A big shout out. Even Wookie's like, hey, Wookie is here. Come on, Wookie, come on down. All right, so that's 52 minutes, and we got through it with my sore throat, which is better. I did perform better, didn't have a complete meltdown today, so I do appreciate your patience, everybody. And I've been slowly stepping back into streaming again. RG says the syndicate is rolling a mob deep. It is indeed, sir. It is indeed. All right. You've made Wookie's day now, Crypto Class. Hey, Wookie, you've made his day. You'll be talking about that all day in the Discord. Good to see you back on the Men Super. I appreciate that, Archie. Big shout out. Thank you, Archie, to the dawn. I salute you. All right, we're going to wrap up there. I hope you guys enjoyed the market update. Everything's looking pretty bullish for the end of the year. We'll obviously have a few little down days, but it's looking, the lineup is beautiful for this year, and we'll eventually get onto those double-digit gains every day, day after day after day, that we love to see at the top of the bull market. And that is coming down the line. So feel good about it. All right, I'm going to leave you a little snippet here from Richard Hart around the Magic Art Ride. Obviously, we're backing Pulsechain for the win. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Fingers crossed. I should do. I did pretty well today, I think. All right, take care. Bye for now.
In theory, if someone were a billionaire and they had like all this money, why wouldn't they just buy more of the thing they liked instead of dumping the thing they liked? Like if Bezos bought shares in Amazon, would you be pissed off? If Apple does a stock buyback and they buy more of their own shares in their company back from the public, which is a way to turn earnings into yield for the shareholders, do you get mad and yell at Apple? And so we had to come up with a word for this fan fiction fantasy, which is the opposite of a rug pull, called a magic carpet ride. And so if you're worried about risk of a rug pull, what weighted value have you given the risk of a magic carpet ride? And it's just hilarious to me.
It's fun to watch Hex pumping up the charts. It's left behind all kinds of broken hearts who didn't buy the dip, who didn't DCA. And now that we're on a rip, it's hard to look away. Now I'm not the one to hand out free advice, but as for me, I wouldn't dare think twice about buying a bag, since we're still somewhat down. This rocket ship's about to break the speed of sound. You know these wheels are starting to roll. Best to sit back and just enjoy the show, 'cause we're about to ride that train into the heart of Hexaco. I tip my hat to everyone who minds. You're getting paid out while you're killing time. It makes room for a nice vacation to the beach, perhaps a celebration now that you are rich. Ha ha! Ignore the haters who all called you crazy. You studied hard while they were being lazy. Now you're packing bags, about to take a ride up on that rocket ship, mooned up and starry-eyed. I feel these wheels are starting to roll. Best to sit back and just enjoy the show, 'cause we're about to ride that train into the heart of Hexaco. Now that we're summer bound and the sun is bright, I see that it's not round but rather has 6 sides. It's a work of art that's written into code, designed by Richard Hart to make our bags explode. You know these wheels are starting to roll. Best to sit back and just enjoy the show, 'cause we're about to ride that train into the heart of Hexaco. Yeah, we're about to ride that train into the heart of Hexaco.